Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, I've come outdoors today because I'm doing a comparison test between these two cameras, well, mobile phones really, but I'm comparing and testing the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera and the iPhone 12 camera, not the 12 Pro, but the iPhone 12. And I'm looking at its vlogging capabilities between the two of them, and also I'm going to be looking at the front-facing cameras. Now, you may well know the 12 Pro Max, which is the one on this side, has got three cameras because it's got an ultra-wide camera as well as the standard camera and the wide camera, where the iPhone 12 has only got the wide and the standard. It hasn't got the ultra-wide. It's actually more of a wide and short telephoto, I guess. I don't know how you would describe them really. So I've come outdoors just to test these cameras. Now the sound is being recorded into my iPhone 12 Pro Max, which you see here. Now I'm using the 12 Pro Max here. I'm using the standard Apple app that comes with it, both with the iPhone 12 as well. I'm using the standard app at the moment anyway. And the sound is being recorded using a wireless microphone. It's the one I've been sent for review. I haven't paid for it, they've sent it to me for review. It's from a company called Katefo. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but they're really nice little microphones actually, great value for money, and they work on the 2.4 gig frequency. So it's a free frequency, you haven't got to pay any license fees to use it. And it should be really good. They're really tiny as well, really compact little microphones and very easy to set up, and that's one of the big selling points, but I'm going to talk about that in another video. But that's what I'm using to record the audio. The audio is going directly into, if you look at the back here, that's the Katefo setup there. It's going directly from that into the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So I've had to use an adapter because obviously it's a lightning 3.5mm jack to lightning cable. So that's what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the vlogging with this camera, look at the stabilization. I have found actually I can't seem to adjust for stabilization. Maybe with the Apple app it is just set as it is. That I don't know, maybe somebody might be able to help me with that. If you know anyone watching this video can help me with whether I can adjust for stabilization using the Apple app, I don't know. But if you can, leave a comment in the description, that would be fantastic. That might help me set it up even better. No gimbal, it's just on a standard, just a little bracket like so. So I'm not using any gimbal to stabilize the footage. What it is what it is, basically. What the phone's creating is what I'm going to get. I have noticed though that the using the selfie camera on both the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro Max, the 12 just seems a wide, it doesn't seem it is. It's a wider angle lens on the iPhone 12. Am I right in that, or am I wrong with that? I don't know, but it just seems a wide, it is definitely wider angle. I can't adjust that, but yeah, I can see that's wider than on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So they have obviously changed the camera configuration with the 12 Pro Max. We'll have a look, I'll swap it around in a moment, we'll have a look to see what the lenses are like, the front facing lenses are like. Obviously the 12 hasn't got an ultra wide, so we won't be able to test that because it hasn't got one. So you can't test what isn't there. I'm hoping the audio is going to come really good as well, because it's kind of two tests what we're doing here. But yeah, so that's, now let's switch over to the these cameras. Now I'm looking at the image quality. It looks on the face of it pretty much the same. If anything, actually, I would say the iPhone 12 looks a bit brighter. I've got auto exposure set, I've got no manual settings. I'm leaving the camera to decide, what the settings should be, and that's the same with the stabilization. The 12 Pro Max is great because it's got a bigger screen, so I can see that nice and clearly. I'm holding it at a sort of arm's length, so you can see, you know, what differences are there. And if I just take a slow walk, we might be able to see what the stabilisation is like between these two different phones stroke cameras. I'm not really interested in what the phones are like because they're just a phone. This is very much a camera test, because what I want to be able to do, I said in one of my other videos, I've done an initial review on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which I leave up here somewhere. So take a look at that and you'll see what I think about the cameras on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But one of my key goals really now is to replace my little Sony RX100 VA with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So when I go out and about, I haven't got to take two cameras with me. I only have to take the one camera, and that's what my ultimate goal is, to be able to replace that camera with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And it's pretty clear, isn't it, that the compact camera market is dead, and it's dead because of mobile phones. They have got so good now that you don't really need to take a compact camera with you. And I am so pleased with the image quality, the still image quality that comes off the iPhone 12 Pro Max, that I really don't think I do need to take a stills camera with me. I will do when I'm going out and about taking proper photographs. Obviously I take either the Fuji X-S10 because that's got great 5-axis image stabilisation, the Sony A7C, you know, something along those lines, because they're nice and compact. Let me change arms because it's getting quite heavy for me. So it will be interesting to see, you know, over a period of time, if I am still really happy using a mobile phone for taking photographs. I've got around the, you know, the aspects of not being able to hold the camera properly or hold the mobile phone properly. I'm getting used to the fact of just looking at a screen as opposed to looking through a viewfinder. The RX100 VA has got a viewfinder, and I always did like that. But the 12 Pro Max has got such a good screen, you don't really need a viewfinder. So far, looking at this between these two cameras, I can't really tell any difference between the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro Max. So for vlogging, using the selfie camera, maybe there isn't any difference. Maybe it's pretty much the same camera. The only thing I would say, as I said earlier, the iPhone 12 is wider. It does definitely seem to have a wider angle of view than what the iPhone 12 Pro Max, unless I have got it set up wrong. I don't know. But you can see also the stabilisation. I'm not walking around and just holding it standing. So, you know, we should be able to see what the image stabilisation is like. So, you know, that's pretty much looking at it from the selfie camera point of view. But what I want to do now is swap to the front-facing camera just to see how good a quality the front-facing cameras are, and if there is a big difference between the 12 Pro Max and the 12. From what I can see, I would say they're both very similar, extremely similar, and the stabilisation seems to work very well. I can see it slightly better actually. It seems to be better using the front-facing cameras. But what I want to see is what the quality is like. Now, obviously, again, I'm using the Katafi radio mics, wireless microphone system to pick up the audio. It's great that these mobile phones can take external audio input. Really pleased about that. Because obviously, when you're going out and about, you don't want to be taking, you know, additional stuff with you. If you can just take a tiny little microphone with you and plug that in, that's brilliant. It saves you having to take external audio recorders and all that sort of malarkey. Yeah, this is the main camera, as I would call it, on these mobile phones. It seems pretty good. And I would say, looking at it on the screen, the 12 Pro Max looks like it's got a bit more contrast in the image. It looks like the iPhone 12 is flaring a bit more, but again, it's difficult to say because I'm looking at two, you know, relatively small screens. But it is nice having the bigger screen on the 12 Pro Max. I have just noticed something though. Looking at the display on the three of them, the 12 Pro Max is showing, I don't know if you can see that, but 12 Pro Max is showing the 3 different camera settings. Whether you can see that, I don't know, but there's 3 different cameras that you can actually choose. The 1 times, the so what's it showing there? 1 times, 2.5 times, or 0.5 times, which is the ultra wide. But on the 12, it's only showing the 1 times. You obviously can't switch it to wide. That's interesting. So it seems you're fixed to that 1 camera, where on the 12 Pro Max you can choose between the 3 cameras. Am I doing something wrong? Have I got something wrong there, or is that how that works? I don't know. That's the 1 times lens. So let's go over to the bridge and see if I can change that. Let's go into a bit of sunshine and see how well it reacts to the sun. So now this is auto exposure on both these phones. I haven't gone into any other app to set manual exposure or anything like that. Let's see what Sammy thinks of it. What do you think of these then, Sam? How well is the autofocus working and holding up to the sun glaring in? I would say they're both, there's more glare on the 12 Pro Max than there is on the 12. I quite like it actually, but the 12 seems to be handling it a bit better. I don't know, it's weird, but so here we go. Let's have a look. Sammy. You can never get a cat do something that it doesn't want to do, can you, eh? So yeah, so that's, as I find quite interesting. Now I'm shooting right into the sun, although it's through the trees, but that's quite interesting. They're both easy to see. The screen quality on both the 12 Pro Max and the 12 is very good. I'm not having any issues with seeing the screen. And again, that is great because there is no viewfinders on a mobile phone. It's great to have a screen that you don't have to worry about, even in bright sunlight, whether you can see it or not. So that's, again, another thing for taking stills. I don't need to be concerned about having, you know, a camera with no viewfinder. The screen on this is perfectly adequate to be able to see what you're doing. And little Jack asleep on the lawn. He's getting an old boy now. So yeah, I find at the moment, until I sit back in the studio, the image quality on the screen looks pretty close between the 2 of them, but we won't know till we see them both on the screen. But as I say, it's bizarre that I don't seem to be able to set you know, the wide lens for the iPhone 12. So let me stop this and see if I can do that. Yes, you clearly can set it to the 0.5 lens. The way Apple's done it, the software is a little bit different on the iPhone 12 to what it is on the 12 Pro Max. The 12 Pro Max shows the 3 different lenses on the settings. With the iPhone 12, it doesn't. It basically, you just tap it. You tap the 1 time and it will go to half a times, but obviously it won't go to ultra wide. There isn't an ultra wide. So let's have a look at what the half, which is basically the wide lens looks. So that's obviously gone a lot wider. Again, they're both pretty much the same. I would say they're both pretty much the same. I'd say what is nice as well, but I'm really pleased with, the display clearly shows that you're recording video. A big red box comes up with you know, the time counting down or counting up. It's actually counting up, yeah, how much time you've been recording. And that's great with my little ZV-1 because I've got a red tally light, so I know I am actually recording video, and that's, you know, phenomenal. It's the same with the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro Max. You can clearly see that it is recording and you're not missing anything, so that's also great. But the wide shot, yeah, using the wide lens, they look very similar. Again, I would say the you know, they're pretty much the same. I don't know how the image stabilization works on the wide. It probably is exactly the same, and maybe there isn't any image stabilization. I don't know. Again, if anyone knows more about mobile phone photography and video, leave some comments below. That would be awesome. But again, you can see there, mind the trees, it's handling flare really well. You can see there, you can see the flare coming through. I think the iPhone 12 is flaring more than what the iPhone 12 Pro Plus is with a wide lens, for sure. Again, difficult to say. It's quite nice flares coming through there. I actually do like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but again, we need to see what the quality is going to be like on the computer as opposed to what it looks like on the back of the screen. So now what we're going to do is look at what these cameras are like with the 3 different lenses. So I'm using the iPhone 12 Pro Max simply because it's the only one, as I said earlier, that's got the ultra wide angle lens. And I'm doing it so you can see what the differences are between the ultra wide, the wide and the telephoto. And I've put it on a tripod, hence the reason I'm bending me back. I've put it on a tripod simply because you don't want to see a shaky shot. There's nothing worse than looking at shaky cams. So let's now do this. So that's now the ultra wide shot that we can see here, and that's quite a nice. That's quite nice. That you can see there as we go around, you get a nice wide angle shot, really nice. And I know that I can actually switch between this and the standard lens without having to stop the video. So let's go to the standard lens. Boom! Look at that. So that's quite a contrast in difference between the ultra wide and the wide. I call it standard, they call it wide. But now let's go to, let's just pan back round. Then what we'll do is go to the telephoto lens, and you'll see quite a contrasting difference between that and the telephoto lens. And I'm not adjusting the height of the camera or the angle, which you would normally do if you're doing a close-up on a wide shot, because it's going to be different. You're going to be zooming right into something that is, I don't know, might be naff. But let's go right in tight then and see. So that's now 2.5 times, and it's not actually focused on anything specific. As I said, that would happen. So I really do need to adjust the framing of a camera, but at least it does give you a good indication how good these lenses are. And I say they're optical. It's not a digital zoom. I haven't digitally cropped that in. That's optically gone in tighter, because it's a totally different camera and a different camera module. So, if we just pan that around, you can see there, what that's like. So now let's go back to the standard lens, or wide lens as they call it. That's the wide lens, and you can see there that's quite a bit, well, it's a lot wider. And then go to the ultra wide, which is great. Well, there you have it. That's a comparison between the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera and the iPhone 12. Now, I generally think the iPhone 12 Pro Max is better. The camera is definitely better. You can actually see that. There's more clarity. There's definitely less flaring. Absolutely no doubt about that at all. And there's much better contrast with the iPhone 12 Pro Max camera than there is with the iPhone 12. I guess that would be, understandable. The 12 Pro Max has got a better camera interface. You can see the 3 cameras on the back of the phone there, and it has got an updated main camera module. Now, I couldn't see any difference really between the selfie cameras on either the 12 and the 12 Pro Max. I really think the iPhone 12 Pro Max is slightly tighter than the iPhone 12. It does seem wider, and that's really bizarre. I would have thought it would be the other way round. But the main camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is better than the iPhone 12. So that is great. It has been worth investing in, the bigger phone. And also the fact that it's got an ultra wide camera that the iPhone 12 actually doesn't have at all is phenomenal. So I'm really excited, as I said before in the other video, I'm really excited about the iPhone photography. I've never been into phone photography at all, and if you look at my previous video you will see why. I've never been able to get to grips with being able to hold the phone like this, you know, I'm worried about dropping it and whatever, but I've got a case now, but a proper decent case which has got a grip on it. I'll be doing a review on that later on. Yeah, I think I really am getting into iPhone photography because you can get some really good results. They're not going to match my Fuji XS10, my Sony A7C, or any of my other bigger cameras, but by heck, it's going to save me taking around a little RX100 or the ZV-1. Although I will be doing a comparison video between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the ZV-1. So, you know, keep your eye out for that one. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. Please leave any comments in the comment section below. That's really helpful. That helps me grow the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button. So there we go. Thanks very much, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography and now mobile phone photography. Cheers for now. Bye.